Hey guys, what's cracking? Healthiest social media family in the game. It's Kevin Hines, and I'm here at Ohio Northern University. Just give a presentation. A lot of wonderful comments coming from the folks who came out to talk to me. They bought some shirts to support the Kevin and Margaret Hines Foundation and the American Association of Suicidology, which is where all our shirts, all the funding there goes for. And we had a wonderful day. If you haven't done it yet, if you haven't subscribed, it's youtube.com/Kevin Hines. Hit subscribe and click that bell because these 300 videos help people change their lives, and we want them to help change yours. Right now, I am sitting down with my new friend,
Sarah Arthurs.
Sarah Arthurs, a writer for the
Courier in Findlay.
The Courier in Findlay, and she is a secret agent, so we can't show her on the camera, but she's gonna be asking me questions. It's gonna go in my ear, and I'm gonna respond right here to you, to our short vlog. So let's get it cracking. Sarah, okay, take it away.
So first, I wanted to say one of the things I was really struck by in your talk is you talked about the importance of normalizing the conversation of talking about these things. What have you heard as you've gone forward trying to talk about this publicly? What kind of reactions have you gotten? Do you feel like there is more discussion, more open discussion?
So what I've found in the last almost 19 years doing this work, it was after 7 months after my attempt, I made my first presentation. And what I found is that when you tell your story, people who've never told theirs tell you theirs, and they share insights and personal stories and traumas that they've never shared with anyone before. And they do that because when you tell your story in such a public way, people become open. They become open books, and they become open to the chance to tell someone who might empathize with their pain, or even mildly understand or understand where they are right now in that pain. And so I find that by telling my story 200 to 300 times a year or more, it's therapeutic for me, because when they share their stories with me and I give them a hug and it means something to them, and they leave saying, I'm gonna be here tomorrow and every day after that, when they came in not thinking that, that is a gift to me that it's my fuel, it's my lifeblood, because it challenges me to keep doing the work no matter how much physical pain I'm in, or even mental pain on a regular basis.
Related to that, I was going to ask, how do you keep from being overwhelmed? It sounds like you hear a lot of really tough stuff. How do you
so I hear a lot of really tough stuff that you wish nobody would ever go through. Abuses, neglect, every abuse you think anyone can endure. I feel like I've heard someone talk about that over the last 18 years, and some of them are absolutely horrific. And some of these kids who are being abused are so young and so impressionable, and all they see at home is pain, and it's devastating. And so there's a point where you're listening to this going, well, what am I doing? How can I help them when they go home and they're getting beaten, or when they go home and they get, sexually abused, and they still live in that environment, or they're in and out of foster care with foster families that are neglecting and abusing them, and they can't see the light. It can definitely get overwhelming, but I stay grounded because of my three things: faith, family, and friends. And I'm not saying faith in a higher power, although I do have that, as you can see right there. But I say faith in the sense of like faith in your own human ability to find a way through the pain, to survive it, and then to change your life, even if you're the only one doing so. That means that, like, getting through the abusive home, past that neglect, or past the parent who never says I love you or never says I'm proud of you. When children need that, we all need our parents' love and compassion and empathy, but some of us need reassurance, and a lot of us need self-affirming from our parents that we're not getting. And so I look at all of that, and I look at the individuals that break down and tell me their most deepest, darkest secret truths, and I'm just grateful. And in that gratitude, I can walk out of here and I can sleep at night knowing that I made a difference.
I have been reading, I live in Hancock County, which is just the north of here.
Okay.
And was just yesterday talking with some local mental health people about an increase in suicides in Hancock County
Yes.
the last year. And I've been reading nationally, the CDC put out a report I think in the fall,
Actually,
specifically.
two years in a row for Hancock
Yeah.
County. Or
No, nationally.
For nationally. So
Yeah.
so for 2 years in a row, the first time ever. For 2 years in a row, the CDC has lowered the mortality rate of human beings because of suicide, opioids, and liver failure, cirrhosis by alcoholism. So, and suicide. So, suicide, opioid crisis, and liver cirrhosis are now plaguing our nation more than they ever have. The mortality rate has been lowered for human beings because of suicide, and for 2 years in a row, suicides have increased by a certain percentage. This is terrifying. This is like next level suicidal crisis. This is really becoming, everyone says it's an epidemic, but numerically it's not. Now it is becoming one. 17 to 24-year-olds are more likely to die by suicide today than cirrhosis caused not by alcohol, just liver failure, than AIDS, and I think it's car accidents and heart failure combined. So if I'm getting those right, and we can fact check that, but it's certainly terrifying. You can look at, and you can fact check that on kevinhinesstory.com on the guide to suicide prevention that's on there. So why we are not spending the same amount of money as governments on suicide prevention when it kills 3 times more people, then we're still spending like billions of dollars on chickenpox and polio, which kill a tiny amount of people. I mean, nobody's really dying by that. Yet we're spending 3 times the amount of money on it every year, and we refuse to spend money on suicide prevention. That tells me something. Is the government trying to thin the herd? Which is what I actually believe. And that may sound like a conspiracy theory, but think about it. Why would we not spend the money on the thing that is causing 3 times more deaths and spend $50 million on polio and chickenpox? I don't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make logical sense. If this is what's killing more people, this is what we need to focus on as a government as a whole. Because if we stop those deaths, if we spent the money on mental health initiatives, foundations, organizations, and companies to help keep people alive from suicide, to help them survive their pain, we would have less people going in recidivism to jail cells, to prisons, to psych wards, or dying. All of those costs a lot of money. We would be saving and cutting costs in this country at a dramatic rate, and that money could then be put toward other, governmental issues that also can change lives, and including keeping people off the streets who are homeless. We're not doing any of that. It doesn't make any sense. The first thing that gets cut on every budget in America, in almost every community, when there's a budget crisis, is mental health. It makes no logical sense unless we're agreeing to let them die.
Do you have a sense of what this is attributed to, that there's been an increase in suicides? Do you have a sense of what's going on?
Oh, we have a total lack of resilience in this country. A total lack of resilience, a lack of an ability to survive pain. And I do think that for all the good social media can do and all the good apps out there in the world that are helping people change their lives, there is so much bad in social media because we have allowed social media networks to comment negative, hurtful, spiteful, bigoted, racially charged, dangerous things. And we've allowed individuals who tell people to just die by their hands to put it all over social media so their world in that network can see it. And what these kids are doing in high school and college is they're believing that because it's on social media, everybody knows it. Or everybody they knows it. And that devastates them to the core and is absolutely a causative factor in their suicides. The crisis text line described it that 60%, cyberbullying today, and this is really important, cyberbullying is 60% more dangerous than physical bullying to people's mortality.
Why?
Because in today's day and age, young people cannot decipher that someday they'll be 35, past that teen cyberbullying and onto the rest of their lives. I was physically bullied all through grade school and high school. I was beat up. I was put in trash cans. I was told I was a little red N-word because I was part black. None of that. That had an effect in my clinical depression, which had an effect in my jump off the Golden Gate Bridge, certainly. But not like the cyberbullying does today. And it's simply because what I said earlier. It's because they believe it goes out to the entire world. Their thought is everyone sees this. I'll never be the same. I'll never get my name back. I'll never be cleared of whatever thing someone shamed them of online. If we can help them recognize that this is right now, but it's not forever. Today is not tomorrow. Today is not, you're 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. When you're 35 and you have kids, you're not going to worry about what someone said to you when you were 14. But they can't see that. Their brains aren't fully developed yet until they're 25. How can they even fathom that world? And they are not being taught how to be resilient in the face of pain. Parents are parenting by handing their kids iPads and saying, watch this. All over the country, all over the world, these devices have become babysitters. That's a major problem. If we're going to parent, if my wife and I, who had a miscarriage, are lucky enough to have a baby in our lifetime, they're not going to get an iPad until they're 40. Because we're not going to let them be distracted by that nonsense and then never be resilient enough to face pain and survive it. They're going to be taught mental, mind, brain, behavioral health tips and how to survive mental pain from the moment they can comprehend what that means.
I wanted to ask about the bridge barrier. I know I've
Yeah.
been hearing for years that that's something that's been discussed. Can you speak to that kind of why access to means? I know I've read this with regard to, for example, issues of guns and suicide. Why access to something like that? And can you talk about why that makes a difference?
So it's like a halo effect. Okay. So if you reduce access to lethal means or completely eliminate the means, which is what they're doing at the Golden Gate Bridge, they're eliminating the means of suicide at the Golden Gate Bridge. There will be no suicides after 2021. And we fought for that for 10 years, like I said in the speech. But the halo effect, what happens when in places where they have put up barriers and nets on bridges, tall buildings, and tall structures, is that the suicide rate at that location goes to zero, and often the suicide rate in the metropolitan counties around that area drops. It's the halo effect. It's because people believe people care. And if they know people care there, then they know then they transmit that to their life being valued. And if they were ever considering that bridge, tall building, or structure, they realize they've had a moment to think about it. Oftentimes, what people need is just that, time to recognize, even momentarily, that suicide is not the option they need to take. For example, when they stop people at the bridge, only one individual in 80 years who was stopped at the Golden Gate Bridge ever went back to attempt to jump. Now, they died the second time, but they did still just jump, which showed us that jumpers there's a particular phenomenon around jumpers. They stick to jumping. And so all of the rest of the people, the hundreds that have been stopped from dying off the Golden Gate Bridge, don't go back and do it again. There was one woman who went back several times. They got her back every time because they were looking for her. They knew she was coming. They knew it was cyclical for her. So they were watching out for her. They had a protocol, So, and now that they're trained in suicide prevention at the Golden Gate, they save, I think, 72 lives a year.
One last question.
Sure.
You said you're 37?
37,
Okay.
yeah.
And you said you were 19 at the time.
I was 19, I was 19 when I jumped.
How is life different now than when you were 19?
It's magically different. I mean, I'm still in physical pain
Okay.
most days. It's pretty terrifying. It's the wrong word. It's pretty. It could be debilitating sometimes. There's times when I can't get out of bed. There's times when I can't walk. There's with my I also have a skin disease that's chronic and that causes excruciating physical pain. But no need to be sorry. I look at it in a very different way from most people. It's part of the deal. So whenever something bad happens to me, I survive it by saying it's part of the deal. It's part of my life's journey to feel this pain. But pain is inevitable and suffering is optional. I'm not going to let it destroy me. I'm not going to ever let it take my life. Now, when I was in 30 weeks of excruciating physical pain, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, where I felt like knives and needles are coming out of my skin, and I had secondary burns across my entire body from a medical burn, I wanted to die. I wanted to take my life. Instead, I turned to my wife. I said, I need help now. And we worked tirelessly to find a way to clear the skin of the burns. And even though it still comes in waves, the pain. The back pain's always there. The skin pain comes in waves, and I white knuckle it because I know that I deserve to be here. I know I'm a good person. I know I have value. I know I'm worthy. And when I can't feel that way, I make sure to say to my wife, this is how I feel. Can you give me a pep talk today? You know, that's my thing with her. Give me a pep talk. Let me know that I'm valued. And she does a wonderful job being my caregiver and the love of my life. And it's you know, I'm lucky. I have a wonderful support network. So many people here tonight do not. You know, so I recognize the value in that, but I'm trying to give them a support network by letting them know my resources, letting them know that I put those up on my website and on the youtube.com/Kevin Hines on purpose, because they're for people to change their lives. And people write to me every day saying that these videos, the fastest way to reach people right now is video media. The fastest way in the world to reach anyone in pain is video media. And that's why when kids come up to me and they go, will you make me a video for my best friend Sarah who couldn't make it tonight, who's suicidal? I do it every time. No matter how long the line is, I stay till the last person leaves because I value they're humans that I need to take care of. And I value them because I was a guy who had nothing like this to help me. And I wish I did. Maybe I wouldn't have jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge if something like this happened to me. If someone came to my school and explained that my thoughts did not have to become my actions, that I didn't have to die with my hands no matter the pain I was in.
Well, thank you so much for speaking with me.
Thank you, Sarah. I really appreciate you staying real late. Thank you.
You take good care.
All right, guys. That was my friend Sarah. She's going to go now, but I told you she's a secret agent. She can't be on camera, so I got to turn off right now. Be well. Be here tomorrow. And always remember, you can survive the pain. Bye. Now, on my 3 count, we are going to yell at the tops of our lungs, be here tomorrow, to all the people in that kind of pain in this room and at home. Be here tomorrow. On 3, loud and proud, like their lives depend on it. 1, 2, 3. Be here tomorrow. All right, come on, guys, that was good. We need to be louder and prouder, like their lives depend on it. Loud and proud. You need to be louder than that. 1, 2, 3. No, that was okay. You need to be louder and prouder like the United States Marines and the Army soldiers that did it 11 weeks ago, and there were 4,000 of them. I need to hear you. 1, 2, 3. Be here tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, be here tomorrow and every single day after that. You are beautiful just as you are. You are all intended to be here until your natural end. You are each 1,000 times greater than the worst thing you've ever done. And if nobody else says it today, I love you and I want you to stay. Thank you very much, guys. Hey love, I wanted to make you this video so that when you land, you got it as soon as you landed. You mean the absolute world to me. You are a gift from the heavens above. I'm so lucky to have you in my life. I'm so blessed that you said yes to marrying me, and that we've had this pretty beautiful, gorgeous relationship for the last 13 years, 13 of them married. You are my greatest gift, I mean that. And you're my heart and my soul and as Barry White would say, my everything. I love you, honey. I hope you land safely in Poland and get the work done. We're doing this together. We don't need any kind of complaining. We are so lucky to have the work we have and so blessed with the gifts we've been given. And I can't wait till you come home and I come home to be together and have some good quality time, real quality time. Love you, honey. Bye.